We are students and we know that the health of our oceans affects the health of all of us. We also know that good data drives policy. We hope that our numbers and our experience teaches you what it taught us, that we need to reduce the amount of plastic litter going into our waters now.
Ask one question or two, and I also want to recommend that DEP hires some of these individuals because they actually know what they're doing.
We teach students about the environmental problems that exist today and then give them an opportunity to come up with solutions. So the civic engagement part of it, the part where they look for solutions and try to implement their own solutions, talking to decision makers, talking to policy makers, changing laws, all of that is the most exciting part about what we do.
We are asking our city council to help us with something important for our future.
For one thing, expanded polystyrene foam is toxic.
My dad gets coffee from the corner store. I worry he might get sick over time.
It started with Debbie Lee Cohen. She was a mom and she was shocked to learn that there was styrofoam trays in the cafeteria. And she got together with another group of moms in her daughter's elementary and middle school and started to try to get rid of styrofoam in schools. So they were making these giant styrofoam puppets to get the attention of the politicians. Right. And Atsuko's making movies about it. And politicians, rather than walking away from protesters, they would go over, well, what's going on here? I want to know what's going on.
Right, giant puppet.
Yeah. And the kids would explain it to them, just like what resonated with them, the facts, what was they considered most urgent, and the politicians really heard it, and that's just always the trend. We teach our students that good data drives policy, but it's good data and their stories.
You want New York City to be styrofoam free?
Back then, there were 860,000 styrofoam trays were thrown away every single day in New York City public school system.
And if you stack those up, it's 8.5 times higher than the Empire State Building, just stacked neatly. And then students realized just how much energy went into making plastic and then disposing of it and using it for 7 minutes an item. We knew that we really had to keep focusing on continuing to eliminate the rest of the plastic, single-use plastic in the cafeteria after we got rid of styrofoam.
We want to achieve zero waste cafeteria, but it has to be an equitable zero waste. The students that we work with are coming from really challenging background. And for example, this school, that PS 188, more than 50% of the children are in temporary housing. So they sort of see themselves in the society that the system is not working for them.
So what is the problem with the plastic?
The problem with the plastic is when they're making plastic, from the pipes that give it into the air, the people might get cancer because they're smelling all that bad fumes.
And also sometimes not all of it gets burned, so it goes inside the ocean and it kills our animals.
They've got cameras and they're telling the story. They get it. They watch YouTube videos all the time.
Mm-hmm. We integrated into other subjects, teachers, art project, or other subjects.
I've had more than one teacher come up and say, oh my gosh, she never participates. He never raises his hand. Oh my gosh, she never says anything. They're almost in tears, they can hardly believe it.
The sun's ultraviolet waves make the plastic brittle. Then, when the plastic litter gets into the water, the ocean waves act like a giant blender, shredding the plastic into smaller pieces.
At the time, there was no video or any educational materials that tells you the story about plastic from really beginning to finish. 1 to 10 to walk you through what this problem is about. So 2016, we started talking about, let's do a documentary.
In 2050, we'll be 43 years old. And this is how our ocean will look like. It's crazy.
Sometimes we find more than 100 pieces of microplastics in a single fish.
Is our cafeteria plastic part of the plastic pollution problem? Is plastic hurting our environment and people too?
In the movie, the documentary, we had the very first plastic-free lunch day in New York City, which is where school lunch is served without any single-use plastic packaging or foodware in the meal at all. And they did it one time in the movie at one school. And then from there,
Quickly became really, widespread all across the country.
and then after that it became monthly. We're still pushing. The next logical step is to go weekly.
To date, that has been eliminated over 13 million pieces of single-use plastic items to date. That's just by New York City.
New York City schools are the second largest institutional meal service in the country after the US military. So working with New York City public schools, I like to say this, it feels so slow because it's a big organization. It feels like it's glacial, the change, but it's actually titanic because it makes huge waves and it has a huge ripple effect.
Yeah, I mean, it is over 1.1 million students, which is the size of a 10th largest city population. So think about the scale of what we are talking about.
People kept seeing our videos and saying, do you have the lesson plan for that? So we started to do that. We have a microplastic madness toolkit which has different units in it. There's a street litter cleanup.
So those are the lesson plans that teachers can use in their classrooms, and it's shared for free on our website. Other components of our work is the professional development to teachers and other organizations, so they can do our program on their own.
We are citizen scientists.
You know, when you're pushing back against environmental justice issues, it takes so much energy. But working with students, there's so much love and hope and empowerment, and that's what really makes it worthwhile.
I'm the luckiest person that, I can use all of my skills into what I believe in, and seeing the kids grow in front of our eyes and then make systemic change, and they take the skills, and I was able to be with them, to witness.
1, we are the people 2, a little bit louder 3.
We hope that what they get from us is a lifetime of civic engagement where they realize that their voice matters and that they can make a difference. And I just want to say that this organization really wouldn't be what it is without Debbie Lee Cohen, who started it. That energy is still here with us.